This is a store called Groceryland, and the shelves are still standing, some of them loaded down with soda pop, but the walls and the roof around it just gone. And that's the kind of view you get when you go through the neighborhoods here in Xenia. This tornado sort of hopped its way across town, flattening homes every time it touched down. And so a lot of it, whether you were lucky or not here, depended on precisely where you lived. On this side of this street, cleaning up is little more than clearing away. There's just not much left. That was Emmett Martin's bedroom. He was in it when the twister tore through his neighborhood. You're in bed when it hits. You get blown out of bed onto the floor?
Right down there on the cement.
And then you look up later, and there's that wall.
Yeah, that's it.
Emmett says the bed probably sheltered him from a falling wall. Probably saved his life. His injuries aren't serious. Oh. And you think that might be from this branch down here?
It might be, I don't know. But something, you know, something hit me and scratched me.
After 40 years in the same house, Emmett won't let this drive him away. Another house just a few doors down is untouched. Margaret Wilkinson knows what it's like to survive a disaster.
5 years ago, this was leveled in a fire, and I was in it. And the furnace exploded. The line exploded. So all I can say is the devil can't have me, and the Lord's not ready for me yet, so here I sit.
Same thought back at Emmett's house. He says he was lucky in some ways, if not in others. He was on the right side of the bed, on the wrong side of the street.
It's hard to take, but still, I guess we'll go on somehow.
His story is so much like that of so many others, and so is his sense of optimism. I stopped by 10 or 15 houses this afternoon, all of which were severely damaged, some of them flattened, and everyone told me that they plan to rebuild. They're not giving up on Xenia. This is home, and in spite of what has happened to it now twice, once last night and once back in 1974, this is where they want to stay. They will rebuild, and they will go on. Reporting live in Xenia, Don Ward, WLWT Eyewitness News 5.
Thanks, Don. A lot of perseverance there. For more now on how people are coping tonight.
Flames crackle on the forest floor. Radios crackle at the Forest Service command post. This is the story all over McCreary County. A furious start to the fire season.
Well, the conditions here had been really critical because of the very low relative humidity. And even though the relative humidity's come up, this stuff is still burning very well.
Here, a column of heated air pushes a plume of smoke straight up through the trees. That's enough to make worried neighbors stop by for an update.
I think we can hold it at the road. We got it pretty wet right here. We got
the cliff there.
David Foster has family right down the road. Worry a little bit?
I worry a lot.
Hey, kids.
That's why his sister is moving their mother's valuables out of their hillside home.
In case the fire gets out of hand and it gets up here where they can't really save the structure.
In the neighborhoods on the edge of the woods, there's not only fear about what the fires might do, there's anger over the fact that they're here at all. None of these fires are accidental. Someone is starting them.
I don't know if it's politics, local politics, if it's an axe to grind, if it's somebody that's mentally unbalanced.
Whatever the motive, it's more exhausting work for crews already spread thin by each spreading fire.
Really rocky. Hard to dig in between those boulders and stuff in there.
The fuel is so dry that a little rain won't help a lot, and the valleys of southeastern Kentucky will stay shrouded in smoke, all of it pouring from spots like this. Rugged terrain where a wildfire is too easy to start and too difficult to stop. In McCreary County, Don Ward, WLWT Eyewitness News 5. At Beechwood High School in Fort Mitchell, one class is reviewing for a quiz.
They might know they were going into a battle. They might not win.
The lesson in Miss Schmidt's World Civilizations class is on the Middle Ages, European feudal government. But at times, they can't avoid mentioning modern American government.
If the process is dragged out too long.
With her hand up, that's Elise Toney. She says her peers are all talking election, not just in class.
We talk about it at lunch and even during classes when we're not doing anything.
Most of the kids in that class are freshmen, 14 years old. That means they'll have just turned 18 the next time we have a presidential election. And they say they've learned an important lesson from this one.
Every vote does count.
Robbie Anderson agrees. He knows what's happening now will be history one day, just like what his class is learning here.
Everybody's been talking about it, and I've been watching the news because I'm fascinated by it, that it's come down to the state of Florida, and that the country's really divided. It's split.
There are plenty of kids in the hall talking about other things that kids talk about, But this class isn't feigning political interest for the TV camera. Their new appreciation for the privilege of casting a ballot might lead to good voting habits for every election, not just the big ones.
Everybody's vote really matters.
So they'll hit the books for that quiz on the Middle Ages, and they'll keep an eye on our own age until the book is closed on Election 2000. In Fort Mitchell, Don Ward, WLWT Eyewitness News 5.
And then disregard the environment in favor of profit. Our team coverage of today's event begins with Eyewitness News 5's Don Ward, who is live in Sky 5. Don?
Well, Greg, it is formally day one for the conference, but it's really day two for the protesters. They've made their way here, some of them, from all over the country, and now they are making their way through the downtown streets. They're marching up 4th Street right now on their way to Fountain Square. Police have been out in force, prepared for the worst, just in case. And as you watch these protesters march, we can tell you that law enforcement sources have told us that scores of local officers were given a 9-page report in advance of this situation. It outlines this protest group and the strategies it uses. One officer says that report describes a very highly organized group. Their mission here to get out the message against globalization, against large corporations who they say make deals among themselves concerning trade, and in so doing sidestep government policymakers. Their battle cry is people before profits. So will this rally turn ugly? Well, police hope not, but just in case, they are prepared for the worst. Our team coverage continues now with my colleague Mark Kaler, who is standing by on Fountain Square where this rally is now making its way. Mark, what have you got?
Well, Don, just in the last 30 seconds or so, they have moved barricades.
Cincinnati police are adding a new wrinkle to handling a crisis. Don Ward is here with that story, Don.
Lisa, for years, police departments have had SWAT teams, specially trained to handle just about any crisis. But Columbine was different. It was a worst-case scenario. SWAT was not the answer. Now Cincinnati police are training every single officer to be part of a new system. The mission is to save lives with immediate entry. This is not SWAT.
Police, down! Down! Down!
Urgent commands echo through the halls of an empty school. This is where officers learn a dangerous entry technique. One of their own plays bad guy, complete with sound effects.
Your adrenaline's pumping, your heart's pounding.
This is a method they hope to master, but never to use.
This is for the Columbine type incident where the kids are in the school and they're actually going down, bang, bang, killing kids as you're outside and you're hearing that. You're hearing the gunshots.
Shots fired in the gym area.
That was the nightmare scenario at Columbine. 2 gunmen inside, killing. Police outside, helpless, without the numbers or the plan to go in and end it.
And this is probably, if it were ever to happen, would be the most dangerous thing you'd ever do in your entire career.
It's called quad, sometimes 4, sometimes more. But the very first officers on the scene form up and move in. A newly developed method when the old ways won't work. Used strictly for something like the Columbine shooting when the killing continues and someone has to stop it now.
You don't have the time to gather a SWAT team together and have them move in.
With this training, any officer can be part of the quad team. The toughest part of this entry technique is that they know there's a gunman and they don't know where. Could be in any corner, in any room. There's a specific technique they use to move down the hallway to protect themselves while they look. But that's a part they don't want us to show. They simply don't want the public to know exactly how it works. That's to protect them as they protect all of us in a post-Columbine society that has made this tactic a new part of police work.
More anger and more hate in the world. Unfortunately, this kind of training is getting necessary.
With that in mind, Cincinnati officers are taking the system they developed to other cities in our area and across the region, training others to use it, just in case. I'm Don Ward, WLWT Eyewitness News 5. This is not the parking lot at the mall. It's a vast sprawl of cars, junked but still full of salvageable parts, where a car buff can go window shopping, or door shopping, or distributor shopping.
If you want it, here it is. Come and get it.
Hundreds come and get it in a post-holiday sale at Bessler Auto Parts in Hebron.
Father and son having fun.
It's better than going to the mall.
You know what they say about one man's trash.
It's like a treasure hunt. This is a great way to buy auto parts.
And this is a great way to pay for them. They're all convinced of it. If you can carry it 35 feet, you can have it for 35 bucks. Just get it across the final line. Here's the deal. In general, the bigger the items, the better the bargain. So it's $35 per person who helps carry the load. That means it's not just about brute force. There's also some very careful planning.
There we go.
Strap it on. Pile it on.
That's a guy thing.
Or several guys. This load takes a forklift just to get it to the starting line. And then it's a team of 6 with the deal and more than a little pride on the line.
Not too fast, guys.
This is a case of shop till you drop.
Hold it.
They don't quite make it, but in the true holiday spirit,
Close enough.
final total about 31 feet, about $225, and 6 sore backs. In Boone County, Don Ward, WLWT Eyewitness News 5.
You're watching WLWT-TV, Channel 5 Cincinnati. Coverage that's first, fast, accurate throughout Greater Cincinnati and the Tri-State. This is Eyewitness News 5 Today.
Welcome back to Eyewitness News 5.
We appreciate you staying with us this morning. Here is a look at some headlines for this half hour.
There may be a KKK cross on Fountain Square, but some tri-state residents chose to focus on peace and togetherness.
And there are just a few more shopping weeks now until Christmas. If you're still searching for that gift for someone, we have some ideas for you.
And you have one more week to get to the Aronoff Center to see 2 classics in one. We'll have details of these stories and more just ahead.
First, though, if you're going to head out the door this afternoon to go to the Bengals game, you'll want to know about the weather.
Absolutely. It's on the wintry side.
Yeah.
Steve Norris has more on that.
Yeah, kind of
this holiday season.
Well, we knew it was going to happen. Members of the KKK put their cross up at Fountain Square yesterday. But at the same time, city leaders and tri-state residents gathered with a message of peace and unity. Yesterday, a community spirit rally was held downtown to show there are other ways to protest. Organizers of the event say the rally is a compromise. They're not confronting the Klan, nor are they ignoring the problem. Parents say this was a great opportunity to teach their kids an important lesson.
Explain to them what sense.
People who went to that rally also got a chance to see Blessed Union of Souls perform. Members of that group say they will do what it takes to help spread the rally's message.
Still no word on what caused it.
A judge in the Tallahassee, Florida Circuit Court will hear another day of arguments concerning whether or not to recount 14,000 disputed ballots. Attorneys for Al Gore and George W. Bush were in court for 10 hours yesterday trying to resolve one of the closest elections in history. Today, Republicans plan to call about a dozen witnesses, including a statistician. They're hoping to prove that there's no need for a recount.
The election night results. Great American, as a matter of fact.
Meanwhile, Florida's House Speaker is ready to call a special session on Wednesday to appoint its own electors. The Senate president says he wants to wait a bit until he's reviewed a committee report.
A member of the 1980s pop injured.
Back here in the Tri-State, survivors of heart transplants gathered for a party. 40 heart transplant recipients were at the Quality Inn in Evendale for what they call a Change of Hearts Christmas party. Every year, the group gets together to share their experiences and to support one another. The group provided gifts for families of 2 recent transplant recipients. And soon, some Tri-Staters will be a little warmer thanks to those of you who helped out with our Volunteer 5 coat drive. Yesterday, some Xavier students helped out. They were sorting through the coats at St. Vincent de Paul's warehouse in the West End. Thousands of coats were cleaned so that various organizations can now distribute them a bit later this month.
Well, many people are still making out. Report. Yeah, people love chocolate chip cookies for presents.
Sure. I'd take some now. Do you have any? No?
I'll whip some up later.
Okay, great.
Okay, yeah. Speaking of buying gifts, many shoppers tend to go in debt during the holidays.
But you don't have to. We'll talk to a financial expert with some practical tips for saving money this holiday season.
Don has a guest with us to explain more about that. Don?
Thanks, Evelyn. We are here with Derek Dansby, who is the executive director of Smart Money Community Services, a nonprofit group that helps folks figure out money.
That's right.
And so this time of year, it's especially important. Rule number 1, I guess, be prepared. Go in there with a list, right?
Exactly. Plan your purchase before you leave your house. You want to have the name of the person, how much money you're going to spend, and even the gift that you're going to purchase before you leave the house.
Okay. And another tip, of course, is that to stick to that list, you might get some help from the newspaper. They've often got coupons and
That's
things.
right. Sunday, like today, is a good day to go through the Sunday newspaper and clip out coupons or look and compare prices from store to store.
And that's hard to do, sort of, because, I mean, I know I think about that and I never actually do it. Does it become a habit if you get into doing that?
It does become a habit if you get into doing it, and if you'll find yourself saving money. It'll easily become a habit.
Okay, next on our list, just carry the money you're going to spend.
That's right. That's right. Only take the cash that you're going to need on hand to buy the purchase that you plan for that particular day. And if you're carrying a credit card, carry the credit card with the lowest interest rate.
Okay, that
and
way...
only carry that one card.
Yes, that way if you're going to overspend, you're not going to overspend by too much.
That's right.
Okay? A lot of times the stores will have their best deals early in the morning.
That's right. It's a good thing to always check those coupons. You might find an early morning sale that'll open up before the store actually opens.
And there are some stores that are specifically looking for bargain hunters.
That's right. They're always out there. You just got to look for those coupons and you'll find them.
Okay, so the discount stores and some of the outlet shops?
And some of the outlet shops are really where you want to start out first before you move into some of the major department stores.
Okay, maybe if you can't quite find it there, you can check somewhere else.
That's right.
Okay.
And when you get there, you also want to make sure you look in the discount racks, you look in the clearance items first before you move on.
Because that's sometimes genuinely fine merchandise.
That's right. You're always lucky to find something good there, and you also get it at a great rate.
And we've been talking a lot this holiday season with online competitors and that sort of thing, that the retailers really want us in there, so they are having sales.
They are having sales, and you just have to go out there and look, and with the internet and with coupons and TV, you have a number of means to check and compare prices with.
Okay. One thing to do, everybody wants a scooter this Christmas. Everybody's looking for PlayStation 2. If you can stay away from the trends, you might save some money.
That's true. You will save some money if you stay away from the trendy merchandise, but even regardless of that, you want to make sure you're going to buy a holiday gift that's going to be special, that's going to last. You don't want to buy something that's going to end up in someone's basement 3 months from now.
Yeah, and that sort of carries nicely into our next tip, which concerns buying for the kids.
That's right. If you're going to buy for the kids, especially if it's clothing, buy something that's a half a size larger, just to allow room for growth.
And one bargain place that a lot of people sometimes overlook is the consignment stores.
There's a lot of great buys at the consignment stores. There's items on the racks that individuals may have never even worn before. They may even have the original price tag on them.
Okay, and you know, the day after Thanksgiving is the big day for shopping. The day after Christmas is the big day for returns.
So you want to make sure you keep your receipts and you know the store's policies for returns, exchanges, and also in regards to electronics, you want to make sure you know the warranty information. That's very important.
Okay, so you can save money. It just takes a little planning.
It takes a little bit of planning and a little bit of creativity as well.
Sounds like it. Thanks very much, Derek Dansby of Smart Money Community Services. We thank you for being here this morning.
Thank you for having me.
All righty, and we send things back to money-saving Evelyn Robertson.
Oh, just one.
Welcome back, everybody. We're going to talk weather once again, and all morning long, it's a recurring theme.
In some parts of the area, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. You want to sing that one for us?
No.
Louisville, Lexington, they got the snow.
Yeah,
we did not.
And now East Tennessee and Western North Carolina are getting the snow, and they could.
It's big time up there.
They are back in business.
They are indeed.
All right.
Thank you.
Have fun.
Thanks very much, Steve. Well, a family classic opened this week in Cincinnati, and it stars a man from a classic family. You'll know him when you see him, and you can see him at the Aronoff Center.
A deer, a female deer.
The Sound of Music has songs most of us know pretty well, and a face we may know even better. Edelweiss, Edelweiss. That's Barry Williams with a song we've been hearing for more than 30 years. And for almost as long, we've known Williams as Greg Brady, the oldest son in the Brady Bunch.
The show has been on for 30 years. It's never been off the air. It's the #1 show on Nick at Night. It plays in 35 countries.
And since those Brady days, Barry Williams has built a new career. The Sound of Music is just the latest of about 75 productions in which he's appeared. And when he first appears, he knows there's that moment.
That expectation when I come out on the stage and people are expecting Greg Brady, really. And that shift that happens as we move into the story, as we move into the character, we move into the role. Because if you spend half the show thinking about the Brady Bunch, it wouldn't work.
But it does, because Williams has been training his singing voice since the time he told us all to keep on grooving.
These are a few of my favorite things.
Jennifer Avery plays Maria.
When I first found out that I was going to be doing this with Barry, there was kind of that, all my friends were like, oh my God, you get to kiss Greg Brady. And I mean, there was that element. But when I met him, I was meeting Barry Williams, a man who's done a lot of theater.
And he'll do more, but what he's done in the past still impacts a new generation.
When the dog bites.
Jason Slatter from Dayton, Ohio plays Friedrich, the oldest son in the Von Trapp bunch, and he still watches the other bunch in reruns.
Yeah, I do. It's kind of weird seeing him being as young as he was then now, but he looks the same. He just looks older.
But some singers and some songs age pretty well. Yeah, we all know that one. The Sound of Music will be here through December 10th. You can get tickets at the Aronoff Center or through Ticketmaster. And in just a few hours now, right there at Paul Brown Stadium, Barry Williams will sing the national anthem before the Bengals game.
Well, that'll be fun,
Yeah.
especially since you said he's spent quite a few years working on his voice, and so he can sing.
He can. That's a challenging song. He says he's up to the challenge.
Very challenging. Well, after a quick timeout, we're going to talk sports, high school basketball.
A little luck never hurts. Take a look at this. That big bounce for McNick against Winton Woods, but the Woods had the final say. Sports is next. Wake up the high school kids. We've got some hoops action on the way.
Here's Kip Lewis.
Yesterday, Thank you, Kip. We appreciate that. And we've got to get another check on weather here for one last time, especially with fans heading out for the football game.
Cold one today, but dry and sunny. At least we do have the sunshine working in our favor, if you're sitting down low, I suppose.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thanks
Steve.
for joining us.